officer for today is Sandy Fletcher. She oversees the team, monitors suit information with them, and walks through the procedures, feeding information to the teams on the ground. Those are just a few of the team members that are helping the astronauts accomplish their tasks today. As you can see, Christina, Koch, and Jessica Meir have been moved into the crew lock section of the Quest airlock. The Quest airlock is divided into two portions. They are now in the crew lock, and the other portion, which you can see Andrew Morgan in, is the equipment lock. That's where they were suited up this morning. Earlier today, they donned their spacesuits. They're formerly known as extravehicular mobility units, or EMUs. Those spacesuits are essentially individual human-sized spacecraft, and they each contain their own portable life support system. A few times today, as we see just now, we will have some satellite handovers where we lose temporary communication with the International Space Station, but these are tracked and we can still walk the astronauts through their procedures as they prepare to move outside of the hatch. A little bit more about the spacesuits the astronauts are wearing today. Engineers on the ground take about 80 measurements to ensure each of the spacewalkers has a best-fitting spacesuit. These are some of the most difficult tasks astronauts accomplish when going on a spacewalk, and so it's important that they have the proper fit to make sure that they can accomplish them perfectly. There are about 16 major elements that compose a spacesuit. Some of those include the option of 3 different sizes of torsos, small, medium, and large. There are actually 8 sizes of elbow joint pieces, 2 adjustable waist sizes, and even 5 sizes of knee joints. Most impressive, however, is there are 65 sizes of gloves, or the astronauts might have custom-fitted gloves since all of the work is done with their hands. The white part of the spacesuit that you see on the outside is not the only piece of the spacesuit. They're also wearing a cooling garment underneath. Since the space station orbits the Earth, about every 90 minutes, the astronauts are constantly going in and out of sunlight. When the space station's in sunlight, it can be 250 degrees outside, but in darkness, it's negative 250 degrees. So this cooling garment helps them regulate their temperature throughout the spacewalk. Astronauts also add padding to their spacesuit as needed to various parts for comfort and better fit. On the back of the spacesuit, which you can see right there with the American flag, is called the SAFER, or the Simplified Aid for EVA Rescue. That's a compressed nitrogen-powered backpack, essentially, that allows a crew member to maneuver independently of the space station. It's primarily intended for use if a spacewalker becomes detached from the station and needs to maneuver back. However, astronauts are always wearing tethers when outside of the hatch, and so we don't often see the SAFER used. This morning, while the crew were inside the equipment portion of the Quest airlock, they also conducted the in-suit light exercise protocol, also known as ISLE. This helps them acclimate their bodies to the lower pressure inside the suit and helps the astronauts avoid the bends. It's something that deep sea divers also have to worry about. Helps them purge the nitrogen in their blood very slowly. So they will exercise, mostly just moving their arms and legs for just under a minute, and then they take a break. We mentioned that the pressure inside the suit is a little bit lower. And at nominal pressure, the suit is about 4.3 pounds per square inch. To put that into context, the atmospheric pressure we're used to on Earth's surface is about 14.7 pounds per square inch. That's also the pressure of the inside of the International Space Station with a mixed oxygen and nitrogen environment, just like we're used to on Earth. So the 4.3 pounds per square inch that the astronauts are experiencing inside their suit is similar to what we'd experience at about 30,000 feet elevation. Low pressure inside the spacesuit allows for more flexibility for these astronauts, which is crucial when flexing the rigid gloves during a 6.5-hour spacewalk. The space station is currently flying 258 statute miles over Houston, Texas, where teams here on the ground at NASA's Johnson Space Center are conducting some of the final communication and suit systems checks with the astronauts who are in the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock.
Houston, airlock on 1, step 63.6, serial numbers 04 and 018.
Good numbers, thanks, Drew.
You can see Commander Luca Parmitano beginning to close the hatch of the Quest airlock, separating the crew lock portion from the equipment lock. Once that hatch is closed, depressurization will begin, and the astronauts will switch their suits onto internal battery power. That officially marks the beginning of our spacewalk.
Clue count 2 or 1.
Go ahead, Luca.
70 and 71 are complete.
Thanks much. We will put step 72 in work.
As teams on the ground and in space continue working through the procedures this morning, they are slightly ahead of the timeline. Everything looking good.
Airlock Houston on 1. We are complete with 72.4. You are hot mic'd on Space to Ground 1.
EV1 copies. EV2 copies.
IV copies. Okay, we are stepping on number 74 with Houston's permission.
Yep, Luca, we want to make sure you do step 73, but you're certainly go to continue with step 74 after that.
Copy 73 is complete. Christina, check that switch depress pump power is off OFF.
Depress pump power is off. OFF.
Check that the enable LED is on.
Enable LED is on.
This is the airlock looking for your go on step 76.
We are go for depress, press with step 76.
And Christina, on the UIA, switch depress pump power on, and then wait 10 seconds for complete startup.
Copy. Depress pump power is on.
As you've heard, the astronauts have received a go for depressurization of the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock.
10 seconds.
The depress pump manual ISO valve go to open. EV expect alert tone.
Copy.
As a
Pump manual isolation valve is open.
Monitor the suit pressure gauge less than 5 decimal 5.
EV1 copies. EV2 copies.
As a reminder, the space station pressure is currently at 14.7 pounds per square inch, and they will slowly lower that number in the crew lock portion of the Quest airlock until it reaches 5 pounds per square inch. They will then pause for a systems check and then resume depressurization to a vacuum before the astronauts open the hatch outside.
The crew lock is at 6.0, expect an alert tone.
EV1 copies. EV2 copies. MIC 13 PSI airlock pressure. Airlock pressure 12 PSI. I see 11 PSI. PSI.
As depressurization continues, we mentioned earlier that we're resuming the spacewalk after experiencing some issues with the battery charge discharge units on the space station last year. That's an important component to the integrated electronics assembly on the space station. The battery charge discharge unit routes power from the station's solar arrays to the batteries so that when the station is in an orbital nighttime, the batteries can disperse that power throughout the station. A failure of the BCDU last year resulted in the first all-female spacewalk on October 18, 2019, as the duo we see today removed and replaced that faulty unit. There was an investigation team formed who performed some work on a ground-based unit and determined they will thermally manage the area so the BCDU is warmer when power is introduced to the power channel. The faulty unit was returned last week on SpaceX 19 and will undergo further testing.
Eight PSI.
Copy. Passing 400. And Christina, I'm going to give you a 5 countdown to close the manual ISO valve.
Copy. And I see 7 PSI.
Copy.
You can hear NASA astronaut Christina Cook reporting the current pressure levels inside the crew lock. Ground teams expect about 3 more minutes until they reach that 5 pounds per square inch depressurization level, and that's when they will pause to check all of the systems and then continue with depressurization.
Point oh for the pressure.
Copy.
81 copies.
Christina, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and close the NPAD.
Okay, depress pump manual isolation valve is closed.
Copy, manual isolation valve closed. So on your DCM, switch display status until leak check question mark displayed, and then long yes.
Work. EV1 has leak check. EV2 has leak check.
You can hear the astronauts as depressurization process continues, leak checking their suits, and they will also conduct some tethered checks.
Check complete EV1. Production EVA. Check complete EV2.
And for EV1, EV2, check O2 actuator is on EVA.
Work. And work. EV1 has EVA set. EV2 has EVA set.
Copy, Christina. Depress pump manual ISO valve. Go ahead and open.
Copy. It is open.
And for your SA, the emergency jump tab is also open. We're going to monitor that the SUP gauge stays below 5.5.
EV1 copies. EV2 copies.
And depressurization has continued. The astronauts waiting to reach 0 pounds per square inch before opening the hatch.
When the crew lock is at 2 psi, and I will call you at 100 millimeter of mercury, we will put the manual ISO valve to closed.
Copy. Airlock pressure 4.0.
Copy.
As we mentioned, this is the 4th spacewalk for Christina Koch and the 2nd for Jessica Meir. They have been preparing for this spacewalk by reading the procedures and studying those. However, they have also been preparing for spacewalks for years, actually since they were selected to be astronauts, by training in the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory here in Houston. That allows the astronauts to suit up and work on a full-scale model of the International Space Station underwater, where they can be neutrally buoyant and experience the same kind of feeling that they can expect in weightlessness. Preparation for spacewalks also includes preparing their spacesuits. They refit the suits once they arrive in space to account for any spinal elongation or fluid shifting that has occurred since their arrival to microgravity. Spacesuits weigh about 315 pounds on Earth, but of course that number is reduced to nearly nothing once you're on the space station.
Airlock pressure 2.9.
Copy.
Luca, I'm showing 2.0 in here.
Copy, and I concur. You can go ahead and close the manual ISO valve.
Copy, it is closed.
Copy. You can switch the depress pump power to off, OFF.
Depress pump power off.
As again, Christina, report initial tether configuration for egress.
Okay, copy. I will start with our connection to the airlock. I see that we have a waist tether small hook on the airlock D-ring extender. Gate is closed and slider is locked. The large hook is also gate closed, slider is locked. I see Christina's left waist tether attached to that waist tether, large hook to large hook. Gate is closed and slider is locked. And I can see the anchor, her small hook is on her left D-ring extender, gate closed and slider is locked. Also on her left D-ring extender is her red hook. Gate is closed, slider is locked. I can see that one of her reels is unlocked, and Christina, can you rotate the other one? Both of her reels are unlocked. You can see her green hook is on her red reel. Gate is closed, slider is unlocked. The yellow hook is on her green reel. Gate is closed and slider is locked. And her anchor hook goes to my red reel. That is gate closed and slider locked. Also on my red reel, I have my green hook. Gate is closed, slider is not locked. I can see my red hook is on my right D-ring extender. Gate's closed and slider is locked. Also on my right D-ring extender is my waist tether. Gate closed, slider locked. The other end of the waist tether large hook is on my mini workstation. I can see my yellow hook is on my green reel. Gate is closed and slider is locked. And my anchor hook is on my mini workstation. And both of my reels are unlocked.
IV copies. Looks good.
And Luca, I have one more to report on my end. I have a right waist tether on my right D-ring extender. Small hook is gate closed, slider locked. Large hook of that waist tether is on my mini workstation.
EV1, EV2, that is a good configuration from this side.
And Houston,
on your DCM, when the crew lock delta P delta T is about 0, inspect another tone.
D1 copy. EV2 copy.
Jessica, when the EV hatch delta P is less than 0.5 psi, you will be go to open hatch.
Okay, copy. And I'm showing greater than 1, about 2 right now.
Copy.
And Lucas, sorry about stepping on you. We copied a very good report on the safety tether config and concur it's good.
IV copies.
Things progressing smoothly as the astronauts have reported all of their tether configuration. And Commander Luca Parmitano in the equipment lock portion of the crew airlock, demonstrating microgravity on the International Space Station. This is where the astronauts suited up earlier and performed their pre-breathe procedures, preparing them to move to the crew lock portion where they are currently. Depressurization continues in that portion, and they will be soon switching their suits to internal battery power, beginning the start of today's spacewalk.
This is now reading 1. Copy.
And I concur, it's consistent with the crew lock pressure on the PCS.
Reading 0.8. Copy.
Copy.
As depressurization continues, it's an early morning for most of us in America, being 5:28 a.m. Central Time here in Houston, but it's actually almost about lunchtime on the International Space Station, about 11:30. They operate in Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT.
.6. Copy.
And again, it's consistent with the reading.
Astronauts Christina, Koch, and Jessica Meir will soon be switching their suits to internal battery power. That will begin today's spacewalk, and then they will exit the hatch. They will be replacing 3 old nickel-hydrogen batteries today, removing those, and putting in 2 new lithium-ion batteries.
.5.
Copy and concur.
Crew lock portion of the Quest airlock now at 0.5 pounds per square inch.
Jessica, I read on the PCS less than 0.5. You are go to open the hatch.
1 copies. All right, Christina, I'm going to move down a little bit toward you. Copy. You're clear to do that.
Koch and Meir have received the go to open the hatch.
Latch is unlocked, and I'm unlatching. Okay, I am down to unlatched.
And that's the thermal cover you can see open outside of the Quest airlock. Once they egress, the astronauts will close the thermal cover. However, the hatch will stay open, just in case they need to quickly re-enter the space station in the event of an emergency.
Okay, hatch is open. It's out. And it's in the hatch key.
Copy, Jessica. Good job. The hatch is open and stowed in the
And another quick handover of the Tracking Data Relay Satellite Systems, or TDRS, as we prepare for the astronauts to switch over to internal battery power and start today's spacewalk.
Airlock Houston on 1, we're back with you after a handover.
EV1 copy, Stephanie. Hello. Excited to be talking to you again.
Yes, good morning, Jessica and Christina, and thank you, Luca. Jessica and Christina, on your DCMs, take your power switches to bat, stagger switch throws, and expect a warning tone.
EV1 copies in work. EV2 copies. 1 is in bat. 2 is in bat.
Copy. Check display switch functional.
EV1 display switch functional. EV2 display switch functional.
Christina, on the UIA, take power EV1, EV2, 2 switches to off, OFF.
Copy. Power EV1 and 2 is off, OFF. EV1 has expected water is off message, as does EV2.
Copy the switch position and copy the message. Christina, check power EV1, EV2 LEDs, 4 are off.
They are off.
Copy. You can disconnect your SCUs from your DCMs and stow the SCUs in the pouch.
And at 5:35 a.m. Central Time, 6:35 a.m. Eastern, the astronauts have switched their suits to internal battery power. And that marks the beginning of today's spacewalk.
And Stephanie, I have an expected 50 high message. 50 is normal.
Copy.
That's for EV1.
Copy, Jessica.
And for EV1, SCU is disconnected. It is in the pouch, and my DCM cover is also in place. And same for EV2.
Copy EV1, EV2. Christina, on the crew lock, check depress pump man ISO closed.
It is closed.
Copy. On your DCMs, take your temperature control valves to max hot.
In work. EV1 max hot. EV2 max hot.
Copy. Take your water switches to on.
EV1 water is on. EV2 water on.
Check DCM blank, bite off.
EV1 DCM is blank and bite is off. EV2, DCM blank, right is off.
Take your temperature control valves as desired.
Copy. EV1 is set at 7. And EV2 is set at 5.
Copy. EV1 is 7 and EV2 is 5. Check your suit P gauges 4.2 to 4.4.
EV1, 4.2. EV2, 4.3.
Copy. 4.2 and 4.3. Take your visors as required for day.
Copy. Copy.
We have good suit parameter data on the ground, and we will take care of the airlock VRIV step.
Copy.
And with that, Jessica, you can egress. And Christina, you can prepare to transfer the ORU bag.
Copy. Okay, copy. EV1 is initiating egress.
The crew has completed all of their checks on their suits. They've prepared their helmet visors to egress into the daytime. You can see astronaut Jessica Meir, EV1, or Spacewalker 1, egressing the hatch now, flying about 267 statute miles over the Indian Ocean.
Okay, Christina, I have egress, and I'm going to move over to the forward side. Copy.
You'll be able to differentiate between Meir and Koch today based on their spacesuits.
I'm going to get my DRT ready.
You can see Meir has red stripes around the legs of her spacesuit, whereas Koch will only have a white spacesuit.
Okay, if you can push it down a little bit. And I have the string, so you're going to release the ret when it... Okay, can you push it down a little bit more? Sure. It's catching on your waist tether there. Okay. Okay, I've got my DRT on. I'll pass you this one back. Copy. Oh, got it.
You'll hear a lot of acronyms today, one being RET, which you just heard. That's Retractable Equipment Tether. Astronauts make sure that all of their tools are connected to them at all times so that none are lost. Another is BRT, Body Retractable Tether, ensuring they are always connected to the space station.
Okay, Christina, I've got the ORU bag on my BRT. Copy. I'm getting the crew lock bag on my BRT ret. Right. Stephanie, I have the crew lock bag on my BRT ret.
Copy that, Christina. When Jessica's ready for you, she can give you a go for egress.
I'm ready, Christina. You have a go. Okay. I can see the tethers are nicely in front of you, so if you just come down straight and go to the aft side, we should be in good position. Copy that. Beautiful view out here, Stephanie.
Copy that.
And I have egress.
Copy.
Hey, Christina, well, would you like to start buddy checks? That works for them. That works for me.
We are ready for buddy checks.
If you can face me, I see your green light for your WVS. I see 1, 2, I see 3 tabs up, and I see your left safer handle's down. And can you turn a little bit toward your left? Perfect, and your right safer handle's down as well. I see a good tether config.
Okay, and for you, I see 1 green WVS going. I see 3 MWS tabs up, and I see 2 safer handles down. And I also concur, good, 2 tether config.
Copy, and EV1 has a dry hap.
Dry hap for EV2.
Copy good buddy checks and copy dry hap for you both. There's a warning and a caution. The warning is about the sharp edge on airlock with number 8 label, and the caution is to avoid contact with deployed test cable. And with that, Jessica, you can translate to P1 to a mile marker 9180 under the FHRC for the anchor hooks.
Okay, copy.
And Christina, you can work on bundling the crew lock bag to the APFR on the WIFX in WIF 11.
Copy.
After performing their buddy checks to ensure each other's suits are in the right configuration, Christina Koch and Jessica Meir are now on their way to the P6 truss, where they will conduct today's spacewalk. After setting up their worksite, the duo will begin moving batteries. The first will be an old nickel hydrogen battery that's currently installed on the space station. They'll move that to the external pallet, which will eventually be disposed.
And the crew lock bag is bundled to the APFR in the WIFX.
Copy that. You can retrieve the bundle and stow it on your BRT.
And Christina, looking back, I can see that my tether is just like a little fair lead around that whiff that is just part of the toolbox, so you can just remove it from there if it's in your way.
Okay, I copy.
You can see EV2 or NASA astronaut Christina Koch on your screen right now wearing a full white suit. She is bundling the crew lock bag to the APFR, or the Articulating Portable Foot Restraint. That will give the astronauts a place to stabilize themselves later as they begin moving batteries to and from the integrated electronics assembly.
Copy that. That's the location for the EV1 anchor.
Copy, in work. Stephanie, I have the APFR and crew lock bag bundle on my BRT.
Copy that. Nice work.
Stephanie, I have my anchor hook on handrail 3652. Gates closed and slider is locked.
Copy, Jessica, and check the reels unlocked.
In work. My reels are both unlocked.
Copy that. And for EV2, the anchor hook location is 3651.
Copy, I'm there now, and it's in work.
And Jessica, friendly reminder to tether to the EV2 anchor hook.
I just tethered to EV2's anchor hook.
Copy that. Thank you.
Okay, Stephanie, Christina's tether is on 3651. Gates closed and sliders locked.
Copy that. That's a good config. You can give Christina a go to release her waist tether.
Okay, Christina, you have that go to release your waist tether. Copy and in work.
And making her way to the Worksite today is NASA astronaut Jessica Meir. You've got an astronaut's eye view right now from her helmet camera. You can determine this is Meir's helmet camera by the number 11 in the bottom right-hand corner.
The ring waist tether is attached to the handrail inside the airlock below the UIA.
Copy, Christina. Check the reels unlocked, and you can close the thermal cover.
Copy, in work. C2 reels are unlocked. Going for the thermal cover. Stephanie, I'm continuing outboard.
Copy that. Can translate to the outboard side of P5. Please check your gauntlets in place prior to crossing the Sarge. And then on P6, avoid contact with deployed and stowed radiators.
Copy. My gauntlets are in place.
Copy.
And the thermal cover is closed.
Copy, Christina. And you can also begin your translation to the outboard side of P5.
And Christina Koch has closed the thermal cover on the hatch. However, as we mentioned, the hatch itself will stay open just in case the astronauts need to re-enter the space station quickly. You can see her there on the left side of your screen, beginning to move toward her work site with Jessica Meir.
And I am at the top of the Petersburg, heading forth.
Copy, Christina. Sunset in 2 minutes.
Copy. Gauntlets are in place and I'm crossing this arch.
Copy, Jessica. Your green hook location on P6 is 5311.
Copy, 5311.
As we mentioned, these spacewalks are a continuation of the battery replacement spacewalks that occurred in October. Those were on the 2B channel of the Port 6 truss, and these today you'll see are on the 4B channel. In October, 6 old nickel-hydrogen batteries were removed and 3 new lithium-ion batteries were installed along with their adapter plates. The adapter plate completes the circuit between those lithium-ion batteries. Today on the 4B channel, 3 old nickel-hydrogen batteries will be removed and 2 new lithium-ion batteries will be installed. And on January 20th, next Monday, we'll have another spacewalk on the 4B channel where 3 old nickel-hydrogen batteries are removed and 1 new lithium-ion battery is installed, completing the work for the P6 truss.
"30 seconds to a short teacher's handover."
Copy.
As we prepare for a short satellite handover, you can see that the view from Jessica Meir's helmet camera is a little bit darker now. That's because the space station has entered an orbital nighttime.
Copy, Jessica.
Even during these brief losses of communication, the astronauts continue their work on the space station, still moving towards their work site today on the P6 truss, where they will begin removing the first nickel-hydrogen battery.
My gauntlets are down for the start.
Copy, Christina. And your green hook location is 5388.
Copy. Company EV1 has dropped hook on 5311. Gates closed, sliders locked.
Copy that, Jessica. Next, you can translate to the EP, and I have 2 warnings and 3 cautions for the EP. For the EP wheels, it's no touch for pinch points. The EP grapple shaft and teeth are also no touch. Translate only on the handrails. Do not impart loads onto any ORU on the EP. No sudden movements on the EP. Maintain less than 0.45 feet per second translation speed, and wait until EP motion dampens out before imparting any loads.
EV1 copy.
Another acronym you just heard is the EP, or the external pallet. That's one of the locations the astronauts will be removing and installing batteries today. It is part of JAXA, or the Japanese aerospace company's HTV vehicle.
Handrail at which I start that, I believe it's 5203.
Copy, checking.
Fifty-two 41, 5242. I think. Let's switch each other.
That's correct, 5241, 5242, and then 5232.
And I see you, Christina. I'm on the EP. Copy. And I am at Jessica's green hook.
Copy, Christina. And Jessica, once you're on the EP, you can stow the ORU bag at 7338. I'm sorry, 7328, or per your crew preference.
Copy, that's in work. And I see that I have crossed Jessica's safety tether successfully without having it tag on anything. So I am at my green tether hook of 5388.
Copy, Christina. Nice work.
A good view from Meir's helmet camera as she stows the ORU bag, or the Orbital Replacement Unit bag, containing some of the tools and the equipment that the spacewalkers will need today.
And Stephanie, I have the ORU bag stowed. I will work on configuring the PG.
Copy, Jessica.
I have the hex head on the PGC. Good pull test.
Copy, Jessica. You can translate to the EP APFR.
Okay. I'm just going to deploy this GoPro, Christina. Okay.
As things continue to progress smoothly at the start of today's spacewalk, we are almost 30 minutes in. And you just saw Jessica Meir working with the PGT, or the pistol grip tool. That's sort of like the screwdriver that the astronauts will use today to remove and to install bolts that will secure the batteries.
Stephanie, I am at the APFR. I see a clocking of 3. I see Foxtrot, Foxtrot. I see Golf, and 3 is set.
Jessica, those are good settings. Double check the pitch knob is popped out and deploy the ingress aid.
Okay, copy. And
A good view there of the APFR, or the articulating portable foot restraint. You can see the place where Jessica Meir will put her feet so that she can begin work on removing the first battery, a nickel hydrogen battery, to then install it on the external pallet.
Copy.
And Stephanie, I have the ingress aid deployed. And I do see that the wire ties are tucked underneath the boot plate.
Copy, Jessica. Those are good checks, and that's a good APFR config. You can translate to the IEA to meet up with Christina when she gets there.
Okay, and I have just dropped my green hook, so I'm actually inboarded Jessica. And checking safety tether config here. In hers and mine. I see 2 good green drops.
And we copy Christina.
Okay, so do you want me... Christina, would you like me to wait here on the APFR while you go by? I think we'll leave that up to Stephanie. We may just be able to translate out in series.
And we're discussing? Jessica, Christina. Jessica, if you could go a bit more aft, and that should allow clearance for Christina to pass by and lead.
Okay, copy.
And Christina, as you translate outboard, be sure to route your safety tether under the grapple fixture.
Copy. I've moved aft, Christina. Let me know if you need me to move any further. Okay, I see you. I think that should be good.
A different view from a different helmet camera. This one, Christina Cook's. You can tell by the number 18 down at the bottom.
And one thing I will take from you while I pass by is, 1, a check of that I'm not taking your safety tether with me on anything. Go by. And 2, a drive-by unlocking of my BRT RET if you can reach it. Okay. Stay where you are. Mm-hmm. Locked out with some slacks. Yeah, I see that. One second, I'm almost there. Okay, stand by 1, because that's translated on you. Come back here. Okay, it's unlocked for you. Great, thanks. I'm going to throw the needle between you and your APFR. And I'm holding my safety tether in, so hopefully it won't snag on you. Great. You're going to have to move more zenith if you can a little bit. Okay. There you go. And fix this, I think I got your APFR out of the you did, but I'll get that after. Right now, though, my tether is caught on your workstation, and your tether is around your PTT. Okay. So with your right hand, you can see that's your tether. There you go. Actually, that's mine. That is all mine. Okay. Now it's free. All right. Nicely done. Thank you for the tip. Clear. Okay, I'm clear. Heading port, Stephanie. Now, your safety tether is actually aft of the grapple fixture, not nadir. Do we want to try to correct that, Stephanie, or? May had just said under, so I was thinking it just meant as long as it's not going across the face, but yeah, let's hear from her on that. Basically, right now, it's just aft of the grapple fixture.
I think aft sounds good, but let me check.
And it is staying underneath the boot plate of my APFR right now.
And Christina, and Jessica, if you see Christina's safety tether routed under sort of the nadir and aft edge of the grapple fixture, that should be good, as long as it's clear.
Yeah, it is not nadir, it's zenith, but it is aft, and it is underneath my boot plate.
If you two are happy, we're happy. We think that's good.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy with it. Well, we can keep an eye on it. Christina, I can always go and move it after if we need to. Okay. And Stephanie, just so that we can make the right assessment, the idea there was just that it wasn't passing over the face of the grapple fixture, just to avoid contact. You understand correctly?
You do, and also meant to not be in the way while hardware is being transferred.
And with that, Stephanie, should I go ahead and follow Christina outboard and then go to the non-radiator side, or to the radiator side?
Yes, Jessica, that's a good plan. And Christina, you're headed to WIF 29 to install the APFR to clocking of 12.
Okay, copy. I am at WIF 29.
You just heard the crew working with the ground to confirm the best place to attach their tethers to the space station. And a little bit of interesting information as they begin to move toward the worksite. The primary reason the crew wears mirrors on their wrist is to be able to see the switches and labeling on the front of the suit that's actually out of view. This is anything from volume to their cooling settings to the oxygen actuator.
Jessica and Christina. Christina, once you arrive at WIF 29, we would like you to actually go quiescent for a period, and we'll have you hand the crew lock bag over to Jessica, and she can install it.
Copy.
You just heard Ground IV Stephanie Wilson talking with Christina, telling her that once she gets to WIF 29, that's Worksite Interface 29, she can go quiescent or take a little bit of a rest period.
Hello. Hi. If you'd like, you can have the bag now. Sure. See, we can probably do a vet swap. Okay, yep.
Another live view from Christina Cook's helmet camera, and once she reaches Worksite Interface 29, she'll actually install the articulating portable foot restraint, just as we saw Jessica Meir do.
Okay, and it looks like, I care, but I think my VRT-RET has the clocking mechanism. Let's see if I can get that. No rush. And I'm seeing that pretty, look in there, maybe to pull out the APFR. Do you think the BRT that got caught underneath the, let's see. First of all, I'm going to get my helmet light on. My helmet light on. Camera and the helmet lights have been detached from her helmet.
We copy. Stand by.
Hold on. I see.
As you heard the astronauts mention, the lights and the camera on Christina Cook's helmet have become loose, and teams on the ground are now working through procedures to help them reattach that.
Jessica, for Christina, we'd first like you to install the APFR in width 29 for a clocking of 12, and then we'll work the helmet light.
Okay, and Stephanie, I can confirm that the width is installed in width, or sorry, the APFR is installed in width 29 with pull twist test and black on black.
We copy, Christina. Thank you.
Okay, and is that RET clear now, you think? The RET, I was able to clear it, yep. So I'm going to remove my BRT RET just so there's one less thing here. And then right now the crew lock bag is attached to the APFR with the two adjustables. And Stephanie, I know that I just have to line up these. You know, normally we put the lights and the video camera on one at a time, but I'm assuming out here I'll just be able to use one motion to put both and clip those into place.
And Jessica, we copy. Thanks for the idea. We're going to work the generic EVA Systems crib sheet, which has Christina minimize body motion, and we need you to tether to the assembly. It's recommended to use a large hook around the around the helmet Gilmer bracket if possible.
You mean the large white bracket in the rear of the light camera assembly?
Checking. Jessica, the gimbal bracket is just behind the light.
The gimbal bracket. Okay, copy. Yes, I'm familiar with that. Let me know. Now, I don't have a large hook, but you know, Christina, if I could use your extra waist tether, I think that would be perfect since you're not using that right now. That's affirmative. I can give out for you if you want. Got it. You hold that for 1 second. Yep. Okay, I have a large hook around the gimbal.
Copy. Next is to perform a visual inspection to see if there is any obvious reason why the light became free.
I'm looking at the latches. I can see the left ones clearly. I don't see anything in there. I don't see any fog. Christina, if you can kind of tilt down to your left. Okay. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I don't see anything obvious. I'm just kind of holding it right now in place where it will eventually go.
Copy, and then check if the light locks are still in place.
You can see the left light hook lock is in place. And I can see the right is also in place.
Copy, and then can you depress all four of the buttons to confirm that they're functional?
You mean the white lock buttons to make sure that the lock is in place?
These are the four.
Do you mean?
Yes, the E-hip buttons.
Okay. E-hip buttons that will secure it in place. Yep, copy. Okay, I'm pressing. Left side goes good.
Right side, both good.
We copy, and so by looks good, we think that means you're able to depress all 4 of those buttons.
Affirm, sorry for that, Stephanie. Yes, I can depress all 4.
Copy that. We're discussing.
At 51 minutes into today's spacewalk, teams on the ground and the astronauts on the space station are continuing to work to reattach Christina Cook's helmet lights and camera to her actual helmet. There are actually already pre-established procedures for any mishaps like this, and teams on the ground are continuing to step through those as they troubleshoot the issue.
So Jessica, what we're discussing is that with the EHIP light locks in place, we felt you should not be able to depress those EHIP buttons. So we'd like to confirm that you were actuating the EHIP buttons and not the battery latches.
Okay, yeah. Initially, I thought we were talking about the white button, so that's what I asked. And then I thought we were talking about the 4 mechanisms that will actually put the video on. So the white buttons, which are not supposed to be depressed if the lock is in place, I will check those now.
Copy, and thanks for the clarification. And Jessica, with that, we'd like you to try to reinstall it and see if it stays in place.
Okay, copy, and I can confirm that all of those white buttons are nominal. I cannot depress them.
Copy.
I think I'm going to need, because I need to try to line these up. And
Okay.
I don't have a good view right now. So
Okay.
I'm going to come up a little bit higher.
Okay, I can reposition too, so just let me know.
Now, if I recall, Stephanie, from when I put this on the ground or inside, I have to be depressing both back and front of each side in order for the grooves to fall into place. Is that correct?
I think that's correct. I'm checking. And Jessica, that's correct. You have to squeeze 2 on both sides or all 4 to get it to slide in the groove.
Okay. Christina, can you come a little bit closer to structure?
Yep.
Okay.
And if you need the BRC,
Sunrise in 20 seconds. Also 20 seconds to a 20-second LOS.
You know, it's really hard to get in here with the lights on. Right.
During a short satellite handover, the team continues to troubleshoot the issue with Christina Cook's lights and helmet camera. And the sun has now risen at the International Space Station, which is currently traveling 257 statute miles over the west coast of Mexico.
Okay, actually, I think, Christina, what we're going to need to do is get away from this APFR. Okay. Let's both move inboard. Okay. Let me slide ahead of you a little bit, and then go down one more handrail. All right.
Here inside Mission Control at Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, you can see teams working with a helmet to determine which buttons should be able to be pressed and help reinstall that light and camera portion of the helmet. This helps ground IV Stephanie Wilson determine how to communicate to the astronauts which steps they should take next.
Swing your legs outboard. Yep. Okay, stop there. Okay. They actually come back about. There you go. I'm going to get a BRT down here. I'm going to need some more stability to get this. Yep. Move a little bit more outboard for a second. Sure.
Jessica, Christina, thanks for your work on this. We think that with the light locks installed, you're not going to be able to get the helmet on the helmet light seated onto the grooves. So instead, we'd like to demate the power cable to completely remove the assembly. And then we're working on a stowage plan for you. We'd like you to have you stow it to the crew lock bag.
Okay, copy. I thought that I did recall that it was possible to get both on together, but I will definitely defer to you on that. Would you like me to demate the power cable at this time?
First, turn off, have Christina turn off her WVS, and then you can demate the cable.
I can get it, Christina. Okay.
Or Jessica can do it.
Okay, it's actually already off. Just cycled it to make sure, so that the WVS is off.
Copy, you can demate the cable.
And Christina, come toward me a little bit more. Okay.
Flight controllers and ground teams have determined to just remove the helmet portion with the lights and video system.
But it's on your waist tether. Okay, I see that. Putting it in front of you. Okay. Okay, so if you get a hand on your waist tether. Yep, I see that. I'll keep an eye on it. Okay. And do I need to mate the cable back to its ground, or can I just tuck it in the pocket, Stephanie?
I'm checking. I think that sounds like a good plan. We concur, just to tuck it inside.
Okay, Christina, if you can come toward me a little bit again. Okay, and I'm going to turn these helmet lights off. Okay.
Rather than spending more time to try and reattach the light and video portion of the helmet, Crew members will stow that portion with the crew lock bag.
Copy. And for stowage to the crew lock bag, Jessica, if you have an additional adjustable, you could use the small hook to attach to the frame in the back of the helmet light, or you could use the large hook on the outside of the crew lock bag.
Okay, copy. We can do either. Christina, do you have a preference for the crew lock bag? No preference. I have an adjustable. If you want. What's our forward plan? Are we continuing?
Good question, and yes, we will continue, and we'll try to keep you two together as much as possible.
Great. Perfect. In that case, to enable us to use the large hook for the crew lock bag, I would say let's use an adjustable. I will have an additional one even after I put my fair lead down, so I can go ahead and bundle the light to the crew lock bag now if you'd like.
We concur.
At just over an hour in today's spacewalk, the team members have decided that the spacewalk will continue and that they'll try and keep Jessica Meir and Christina Koch together as much as possible during the work.
You know if you need a hand with anything. Okay.
As the astronauts work to stow Christina's helmet camera, a beautiful view of the Earth below as the space station flies west of Santa Cruz.
Copy, Christina. And Jessica? Copy, Christina. And Jessica, would you check your safety tether reels unlocked? We're getting reports that there's quite a bit of slack.
Okay, copy. I see that slack too, and it did get locked. It's unlocked now, and it's reeling in.
We copy. Thank you.
Okay, and Stephanie, I'm ready for next step. To summarize, I have the APSR installed in WIF 29. You can redo settings if you'd like.
Copy of you confirm clocking of 12, and I'll have the rest of the settings.
Okay, affirmative. It's clocking of 12, and the rest of the settings are Quebec, box 12.
And we copy. Those are good settings. And you reported good black on black and a good pull test. Can you also double check the pitch knob is popped out?
And the pitch knob is popped out.
Copy.
The ties are stowed under the boot plate.
Copy the wire ties also. You can place your Richman fair lead at 5360.
Copy. And I'll move back to this radiator side, Christina, and I can give a hand with that crew lock bag if that's going to be the next step. Okay, I concur. Thank you. Stephanie, would you like me to grab the crew lock bag and start stowing that while Christina's working on the fair lease? I'm just next to it now.
Yes, you can stow the crew lock bag between handrails 5354 and 5349.
Copy.
You can see Jessica Meir stowing the crew lock bag along with Christina Cook's wireless video system and light portion of her helmet.
Some additional words without your helmet light. Just be careful with your translation, as you always are. You're missing that additional protection.
Copy that. And if you agree, I'll go ahead and follow Jessica up to the crew lock bag location.
We agree. Next will be ratchet wrench ops to brake torque on battery 1.
Copy. Could you give me those handrails for the crew lock bag again? Was it 5354? 49.
That's a firm and a 5349.
Okay, copy.
Due to the issue with Christina Cook's helmet this morning,
Outside the crew lock bag, that would be inboard of the gap spanner. That's on handrail 5354.
the astronauts are about 30 minutes behind on the timeline. However, the spacewalk will continue as planned. The astronauts will work in close quarters to provide Christina Cook more visibility, especially during the nighttime passes of the space station.
The one that we're taking off when we stow it at the end. Okay, and do you have a preference on inboard or outboard stanchion? No.
There is one caution for the bolt operations. Once torque is broken on an H bolt, do not impart loads into the corresponding microsquare.
Copy. And just come right up here with you. Okay, and I've got the crew lock bag stowed on those two handrails.
Copy, Jessica. You can retrieve the ratchet wrench from the crew lock bag to hand to Christina. Christina, you can be in position for H1 on battery 1.
Copy. Christina, here you go. Okay, thanks. And just, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and get here. Might come back to you.
You overheard the astronauts and the ground team discussing scoops.
Okay, Stephanie, I'm at H1 and I'll be inserting the ratchet. One line flush, or tape line flush rather.
Copy, tape line is flush to the H1 scoop. When you're ready, brake torque, less than 1 turn.
Cook is now loosening the scoops. She will then reinstall those on different portions of the battery that will allow easier handling between the two crewmates as they work with these batteries today.
And I got tape line plus on H2.
Copy, brake torque, less than 1 turn.
And that's complete, quarter turn.
Copy, quarter turn. Can stow the ratchet wrench or tend it back to the crew lock bag. Then we have 2 scoops to install, one on the DCSU on H1 at 6 o'clock, and one on battery 4 at H2 at 6 o'clock.
Okay, Christina, since you're on that side, if you want to do battery 2, then we can either you could pass them over, or I could do the other one if we don't want to take them off this regret. I want to do one at a time.
Okay, so it was DCSU, and
So you could probably go down to battery 2 first.
Jessica, Christina? And Jessica, what we suggest is that, Jessica, we have you work on installing both of the scoops, and Christina can work on the PGT, configuring her PGT with the hex driver from the socket caddy.
Okay, copy.
okay, and I copy as well.
So one more time, Stephanie, the scoop on the DCSU, was that on H1 or H2?
For the DCSU, it is H1 at 6 o'clock.
Okay, copy.
You'll see various tools throughout the spacewalk today, but 2 main ones. We just saw Christina Cook use the ratchet wrench to brake torque on battery 1. Another that we'll see coming up is the PGT, or the pistol grip tool. This is a drill-like tool that will help the astronauts remove bolts as well as drive them in to secure the batteries.
My name is Types and installed on my PGT with a good pull test.
Copy, Christina. That PGT will be attached to the crew lock bag using the RET series.
Copy. In work.
Almost an hour and 15 minutes into today's spacewalk. After these scoops are installed on the direct current switching unit, or the DCSU, and on battery 4, the teams will move to their next task, which is releasing battery 1.
Christina, could you tap my camera free of... Yep, I see that. Okay.
Battery 1 is a nickel-hydrogen battery. It has been on the station's integrated electronics assembly on the P6 truss.
The scoop's got sucked back over there.
See you? Got it. Got them? Okay. And I'll make sure you can pull them out, but they're in a good...
Yeah, they're wrapped around.
Okay. Let's get that fixed. See what's going on here, so maybe you can fix that. Okay, there you go. Thanks. Okay, the PGT is embedded in the RET series into an internal D-ring in the crew lock bag.
Copy, Christina. And then Jessica's working on the scoop now on the DCSU. She'll have another scoop placed on battery 4 on H2 at 6 o'clock, and then the PGT goes onto that scoop with the adjustable.
Okay, copy. I'll get positioned. Okay, Stephanie, I have a scoop on H1 of the DCSU.
Copy, nice work. The additional scoop goes on battery 4 H2 at 6 o'clock.
And I'm in a good spot to do that one if you want to hand it to me, or actually just do that as adjustable. There you go.
In this view from Jessica Meir's helmet camera, you can see she has installed a scoop on the direct current switching unit.
Okay, I have a scoop on battery 4 H2, and I'll release this adjustable that's attached to it. It'll send back to the crew lock bag, and then I'll attach my PG. Cool.
Copy that, Christina. Then next is a glove, hap, and gauntlet check from you, both when convenient.
Okay, for EV1, on my right glove, I have a very small piece of RTV that's peeled back on the seam of my index finger. If you can see that in my WDS. And left glove looks the same as baseline. Half is dry, and gauntlets are down for EV1.
Copy EV1.
For EV2, I have the PGC with the 9-inch head node on H2 of battery 4. And glove check for one.
Copy, Christina.
For my glove, I see no changes from the start. EVA. Half is dry. Gauntlets are down.
Copy, checks EV2. PET is 1 hour, 19 minutes, and we are about 15 minutes down. And Christina, when you're ready, check the cap spanner clear of battery 1, you can ingress the APFR.
Okay.
A lot of good information from the astronauts. Christina Cook confirming that the scoop has been installed on battery 4.
Can be cleared of it. It will be easily cleared when we remove the battery.
Copy that.
The astronauts also conducted a glove and hap check.
Stand by, I'm going to head down there. Okay.
Astronauts regularly check their gloves for any damage during the spacewalk. And HAP stands for Helmet Absorption Pad. The astronauts check this to ensure nothing is leaking and that the inside of the suit remains dry.
And a good position could be on the radiator side.
Copy. I am there now, and I'm just asked of battery 1, and yes, I think the gap spanner will. Yep, it's in a good position. It will be clear.
Copy all. Thank you.
And more good news relayed up to the crew by Ground IV Stephanie Wilson. They've made up some time and are now only 15 minutes down on the timeline. Next up for the astronauts, they will begin to remove battery 1. As we mentioned, the numbered batteries are old, meaning this is a nickel-hydrogen battery that's been on the integrated electronics assembly on the P6 truss in channel 2B. We'll see Christina Koch use the pistol grip tool, that drill-like tool, to remove the battery and then pass it off to Jessica Meir, who will soft dock it onto the external pallet and eventually also use the pistol grip tool to turn one bolt and secure it to the external pallet, where it will later be disposed.
You're a bit to the right, to the left, both feet. Okay. Is in. You just need to get the heel rotated inboard and down. Copy. You're in the toe loop. I think you're going to have to bring it forward more. Okay.
These battery changes on the International Space Station, switching from nickel-hydrogen to lithium-ion, have taken place over the last few years on various parts of the space station.
Okay. I believe I'm ingress. Have a good view of your right foot. It does look like I can see that your right foot's in. Okay. And I am looking at battery serial number 0104.
Copy 0104. Check the ingress aid stowed and tethers clear. And attach a RET to the H2
Stowed and
scoop.
clear.
Copy. Attach a RET to the H2 scoop, locking it out with slack.
Today on the 4B channel, we'll see 3 old nickel-hydrogen batteries removed and 2 new batteries, lithium-ion, installed. And next Monday, we'll see 3 old nickel-hydrogen batteries removed and 1 new lithium-ion battery installed.
Copy. We'll use Jessica's PGT with the 6-inch for this operation. I'll have settings when you're ready.
There we go. Okay, I have the PGT. Copy. Want me to lock on? Want me to lock out the RET? I'm good so far. Okay.
The final new batteries for the space station will arrive late this spring with a launch from JAXA, the Japanese Aerospace Agency. These will be for the 1B and 3B channels of the S6 truss, that's the starboard 6 truss on the International Space Station.
Those are good settings. Confirm tape line flush to the H1 scoop.
Inward. Okay, tape line is flush. I'm in a good position if you'd like for me to apply back pressure. Absolutely, I will take that. There.
When ready, release H1. Stand by.
We're on standing by right now.
And we concur. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
On the right side of Jessica Meir's helmet camera, you can see Christina Koch.
I am in a good position to trigger if Jessica, you can apply down pressure and keep it equal. And Stephanie, we have tape line flush on H1 and a nice perpendicular.
Copy. Release H1 about 8 turns to free spin.
Work. I can count turns.
Cook now working to release the first of 2 bolts to remove battery 1 from its position on the integrated electronics assembly.
And it started skipping at 5. And I see status indicator is unlocked.
Copy 6 turns with skipping starting at 5 and status indicator unlock. It's the same settings for H2, Alpha 7, counterclockwise 2.
Okay, and I confirm that is still set.
Copy.
Tape line flush, now on H2.
Copy. Release H2 about 19 turns to free spin.
Okay, let's straight to you, Jessica, for mirroring loop. Okay, and I can count turns and trigger if you can apply back pressure. Okay, got it, turn. See it jacking. Curve. I believe we're all the way. Yep. There's 18 turns. I can see status indicators unlocked. Concur.
Copy 18 turn status indicator unlock for H2. Can transfer the PGT back to Jessica and unlock the red.
Copy. All right, there's your PGT, Jessica. My red is unlocked.
Copy once Jessica's in place to receive the battery and double check local tether not on the outboard gap spanner. Can hand off battery 1, giving Jessica the H1 scoop.
Copy that. Hey, Jessica, I will be handing you H1 once we're out of soft dock, so I'll let you position, and I can confirm, you can, I'm sure as well, that your local is not on the gap spanner. Copy, and I'm going to have to come around to the other side first, right? Yep. I will translate down there. Copy.
Now that Cook has successfully unbolted battery 1 from its place on the integrated electronics assembly, she will pass off the H1 scoop or that handling tool to her crewmate Jessica Meir. Meir is moving into place to receive that battery.
Copy.
We're out of soft dock. And
Copy.
get it ready to hand H1 to Jessica, but recognize she's still positioning.
Copy that.
All right, Jessica, I've got it oriented fins out, H1 towards you. I'm just going to slowly bring it around. Okay, it'll be there when you're ready.
We're currently an hour and a half into today's spacewalk, and Jessica Meir is positioning herself to receive battery 1 from Christina Cook. Meir will then soft dock the battery onto the external pallet for later disposal.
You should still have enough room to egress. Yep, I agree. And then we both have it now, so let me know when you're happy with your control. Okay, I have control of the battery. Okay, you have the battery. I have the battery. And I will, Stephanie, if you agree, I'll go ahead and egress.
We concur.
And it is coming back to you a little bit just because of your rep.
Okay, understand. Stay on your side of the APFR, a little inboard, so that we don't have any stretching. And I can see that my safety tether's in a good config, nothing snagged on it. Okay, copy. And I am to the bottom handrail, so I'll get a local down and I'll look for the battery. Copy.